Man, good morning YouTube. My name is Kenny. Thank you for checking out the channel. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is getting some exhaust pipes Cerakoted. Now this process is going to be a little bit different from the process that I used. In my last video doing the Cerakoting, I'm going to be using the H line, which is going to be the oven cure. I'm going to be using a gloss black, just trying something different. It is a little bit more detailed because it isn't just shaking up the color and pouring it. It's actually measuring the color out and putting a hardener and catalyst in it, mixing that up and getting it sprayed. And I'm pretty sure it has to go in the oven at some select temperatures. We're going to read all those instructions and go over all that here in a little bit. But if you enjoy this kind of content, hit that like button and subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and we're going to get this video rolling right now. All right, so we have these T6 pipes that are sitting here. Got a little bit of surface rust, as you can see. But the guy wanted these to be a gloss black, so we're going to just try something a little different. The armor black is what I've used in the past, but we'll talk about it here in a second. But this is just showing blasting what I've gotten towards so far. I'm going to do a good bit more blasting on this to make sure the surface is where I want it to be, nice and prepped. We're going to go through the gassing or the outgassing processes as well that I'm going to use. But, you know, overall, they shouldn't turn out too bad. So here's the pipes. Yes, I'm touching all over them. It's no big deal. You're going to outgas these because, you know, these pipes, 2 strokes, and the fuel, you're going to have a lot of oil in there. So this is going to just make sure all the residue is burnt off. So we have a good area that's going to hold this color on real good. Let's take a look at the color. All right, so don't mind the mess that's in the background, but this is the Cerakote that I've typically used. It is the C-Series, which is the Air Cure Armor Black. Gives a nice flat black finish. It's what I use on the Raptor arms up top. It's really close to that Jack Black powder coat. But this one's supposed to be a gloss black right here. It's supposed to have a more semi-gloss look to it. Maybe not look like the bottle or anything, but it's supposed to be a lot more shiny than this one. And this is kind of, you know, what we're going to figure out how to use. This is H-Series, so it's oven cure, and it is a part A right there. And the part B is the catalyst, which is like the clear and the hardener, so we're going to figure that out. This is the HR Elite Series Catalyst B. Our beaker here is just going to make sure we get our ratios correct when we go doing it. So as you see, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, a little bit blurred, and the glass isn't wanting us to see through it well. So what it looks like we're going to do is pour some of that in there, get the appropriate amount, hardener in there, and clear in there, appropriate amount, and go from there. But we're going to go over to the computer and get exactly what we need to do. All right, so we're going to jump right into it. We got the Cerakote manual, pull it up, or how to do it. The Elite H-Series training manual just tells you what to go through. So basically, there's going to be a few parts. Disassemble your part and degrease your part. We've already done the disassembling. We've wiped it off before we blasted it. We're going to mask off anything that we do not want to be blasted and all that stuff. Well, we're going to degrease and mask it off, and then we're going to mask off anything that we don't want to be blasted. Then we're going to rack it and hang it up and then gas it out. So the gas out is basically going to be a preparation that's going to cook it at 300 degrees for about an hour to get all the gas that's in there out. Then we're going to take it back out, mix our Cerakote up, and then we're going to spray. Then we're going to go by the cure schedule, supplies, equipment, and training program. So we're going to quickly just go down through all of it. Nothing crazy, but we have it disassembled as we did. Strip our item down to what we want. As you see, they have the weapon there, done that. We're going to degrease it all, which is just going to be clean up the stuff off. So they just used like a lint-free cloth and they just cleaned it and wiped it off. Whoops. Well, that didn't work my way. They're going to mask it off, so they're going to plug up anything they don't want the Cerakote in. As you see here, the plug, the barrel, and the golf club sandblasted. They're going to use 80 to 100 psi, give a nice uniform finish on the product. Then you're going to hang your product up, and then you're going to start to do the gas out. So this is the part we're at. We want to be at 300 degrees for 60 minutes. And then when you take it out, you're going to see if you see any oil or anything. You shouldn't see any oil. If you do see some oil, it's got to go back in there. So you do your process of degreasing it again, sandblasting it again, and then get all the oil off so the product gets on there well. So you take the bottle, you mix it for 15 minutes. You're going to shake it up for 10 minutes, I'm sorry. They recommend a paint shaker, but hands work. Pour the amount into the cylinder. We're going to have the cylinder there. Add the catalyst, and it's going to tell you how much catalyst you need to add on the next couple pages to get the desired finish you want. You're going to stretch a lint-free glove over it, shake it up, and then you're going to be ready to pour it into your gun. You need to use a strainer, which I have some strainers to make sure we get any large particles out and anything in there that we don't want. So we want a higher gloss, so we're going to go for a 12:1 ratio. And then we're going to spray. So we're going to check all the plugs, make sure everything is where we want it to be, ensure we're doing what we're doing, begin the spray process until I'm able to complete curing and flashing within an hour. So you're going to do it and make sure you get it all done within an hour. And you want it to be a little bit of a wider pattern and not just like that straight dot. So yeah, we're gonna make sure we get everything adjusted, and I'm not gonna go through that process and doing that. I mean, that's just kind of standard, but I just want to show that the preparation and what I'm gonna be doing with the part. So I also I utilize this here is using another hook to just hold your part steady, blowing off all the dust, and it helps you be able to rotate your part as well. So we're gonna figure that out. But yeah, you see he's using it and getting a lot of overspray, so it isn't like he's not using the product. So for H-Series Cerakote, there will be 1 to 2 mils thick. The Elite Series is a little bit thinner, generally achieve 2 coats. The number of coats is applied varies depending on the color. So we'll probably put 2 coats of color on this. Wet application, dry application. We're going to use about 25 PSI. Spray too far, spray too close. I mean, it's just something that you're going to have to learn through or go through. It's not usually too hard to be able to get it done. For curing, we're going to be using the metal H-Series, so we can go with 250 for 2 hours, or we can do the 300 for 1 hour. I'm going to do the 300 for 1 hour just because I'm using the Elite Series hardener, and I want to make sure it cures as it should, so a higher temperature for shorter time is what we're going to do. All right, let's get right into it and keep going. All right, guys, so there is one more thing. As you see, we are on the Cerakote website right here. How to prep a chrome-plated surface, and these pipes were chrome. I just want everyone to know, I'm doing this in the correct fashion. Sandblast the existing substrate is important, a necessary step for most Cerakoting applications. Luckily, it isn't necessary to remove heart chrome plating completely for Cerakote to mechanically adhere. A quality hard chrome finish is a perfect surface for Cerakote to be applied over and on top of. You just need to etch it. So you're going to blast the surface and make sure it has a good texture and there's nothing that's going to be flaking off and broken. And then as long as the product underneath is solid, so you just need to make sure you have it onto the bare metal or down to the etched material. Applying it to anything that's flaking basically is saying that it's going to come off. So we're going to etch it. We're going to get it to where it's no shiny spots, and then we're going to do the gas out and everything that we stated we would. All right, so our pipes have went from here to here. So we have the surface etched really good. Nothing else shiny on there. Nothing looks like it's going to have an issue. But like I said, these are some of the bare spots that were already rusted. So we blasted those. One of the things I do get concerned with is how filling is this going to be. So this is prior, but this is what it looked like. I'm not 100% sure how filling the Cerakote's going to be. But we're going to put it on here and put a nice coat on it, and we're going to figure it out. All right? But yeah, we're looking good. The process is already rolling through, and we're going to go ahead and get this other one hung up in the cabinet. Once we get it blasted looking good in the oven for an hour at 300 degrees to get the gas out going. As I always say, pardon the junk, but everything is blasted and we're about to go into the oven, as you see. Looking really good and have the coating good. So the oven is set at 300, but we're going to go ahead and get this opened up. We have our elements in there, everything ready to rock, got our fan on. Let's go ahead and get this in here. Sorry. All right, so they're sitting inside the oven right now. As you see, I could have put them both up at the top, but with the Cerakoting, as you see, they're moving around. I don't want them to bang and clank, so we're just going to leave them how they are and put them in there for about an hour. I'll latch my latches. And you'll see we're set at 300. And we're at about 181 in there since I opened the door. Temperature's going to drop a little bit, but it's going to get up to temp. And then we're going to have this in here for about an hour. So we're going to change our time up to an hour. So I decided to go ahead and set it at 70 minutes, and it's counting down just to give it time to get up there to that 300. So it needs to be 250 to 300. So we're just going to give it time to get up there to where it should be. But we're rolling, we're on, timer alarm's on, temperature alarm, we're going to go ahead and turn that on. So what'll happen is if it gets too far over temp, that's going to beep. I think I got it set at 5 degrees over or 10 degrees over. But yeah, we're ready to roll. All right, so our pipes are now out of the oven, and we're going to get those coated here in a minute. So we're going to go back over here to the table, and we have the beaker. And the ratio that we're going to use, according to Cerakote, is 12 to 1, because we want it glossy. So what we're going to do is 50 milliliters. So I've shaken this up for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to just pour 50 in. All right, we got 50 there, as you see. And the catalyst, we're gonna go, it's 4.1, so we're gonna put it right around 4 in there. These things get kind of crazy when it goes to squirting out of syringes. So we should have about 54 when it's all said and done. Whoops. Whoops, that won't knock it over either. Kind of hard getting it. So, right there at about 54. Alrighty, we're good there. Instructions say to put a rubber glove over it that's lint free and put it over top. And we're going to shake it up for a minute or so. Then we're going to get it down inside the gun. All right, so we got our little box here. That's going to be our spray width, so it's kind of skinny and tall, not just a round shot. And we're going to go ahead and get this. Now we're going to go ahead and get this coated. We're going to see what it's going to look like on here. So just a little bit. So that's it. So we're going to go ahead and get this done off camera and come back. All right, so here we are with pipe number 1. So I think it looks really good. The thing is as I did state, you will see some of that pitting in there, but that's what a gloss will do. It'll make sure it brings out the glossiness, but it will also show any imperfections in the coating. But it looks really good overall. We'll get these in the oven here in a little bit. Here's the other. That looks good. I like it. I don't see any thin spots or any spots that I've missed. So we are good to go. So the gloss is all on. It looks really good. I think it looks pretty good. So you all let me know. So we're back in the oven. We're gonna look at the time. I think it's 300 degrees for an hour. Or it's Yep, 300 degrees for 1 hour. All right, so here we are out of the oven, and I think they look really freaking good. So what you'll see here is that some of that deep pitting I was not able to get out, and it gets a little worse when you come around towards the header pipe or once it goes into the head. But when it sits on the machine, as it's going to sit on the machine, that's going to be sweet freaking looking. Sweet. It's not perfect, but it's not expected to be. Well, the coating is perfect, but the pipe wasn't perfect prior. But over here, we're at the same thing, looking real good. Cerakote, it's going to be super easy to clean up with no problems. All the coating went on as it should, which is real good. I'm going to put these gaskets back in, and then I'm going to get this wrapped up in some bubble wrap so I can store it until I get it back to the guy who wants it done. So, that's it. All right, everyone, so we're going to wrap this video up. That's the process that I did use to Cerakote this. So we went based off of what the manufacturer stated. We got it blasted. The one thing I didn't do was the acetone soak. I mean, I would need gallons to be able to soak something like that size. So I didn't stress with that, but the gas out process worked amazingly. And if you had the lint-free cloth, which is great, but if you don't get all that off, I personally, if I have to wipe it off, would go back over it with a torch to just singe any fibers or anything like that that's on there. But we got this one done. This is the process that I use. If you have any questions, drop it down in the comment section. If you have any suggestions in the future, like maybe I could have blasted it more or done something a little different to get a little bit more of that pitting out. Just some recommendations, because I am trying to get better as I do this. But overall, this came out solid. The guy who's getting them absolutely loves them. We're going to start working on a frame here soon enough. All right, everyone, if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that the next time I upload a video, you all will be notified. Share this video, like this video. It'll help the channel grow, and it will definitely work well with that YouTube algorithm.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want, and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not worth